everything, like, I mean, like pretty much the entirety of I mean, like websites, a lot of people who do like web development, all of the tools that they're using are free. So, I mean, like, you know, it's just kind of like, people will build the software, and you can think of it as like building blocks, or bricks. And, you know, if you have somebody who knows how to like, you know, put the bricks together and make a house, then yeah, you pay them for that work rather than pay for the software itself. You're paying for the expertise and the support, and that's kind of like how they see like a lot of corporations that rely on like the knowledge of like programmers. Like that's what they're looking for. They're not saying like, oh, do you have the full version of this? No, they don't care about that. It's
Yeah.
do you know how to build you know, like a server with you know, with a database and with a neat front end that people can interact with. And
Fascinating.
that's kind of like the idea. That's a way of making money. That's a way of like contributing to the internet. And I mean, and that type of model lends really well to the open source software movement. That's kind of the idea. It's more yeah, that example, it's just, that was very specifically for the example of Red Hat, which is
Hmm.
yeah, which I mean, I think, yeah, the company I work at, they run a lot of they run CentOS on their servers. So it's kind of, yeah, like, I mean, it's essentially, it's Red Hat, but, you know, very, very, very stable.
Okay, that's awesome. But okay, so then let's just close real quick. And so I wanted to ask a question. So as we develop sort of open source hardware and stuff like that, or software rather, like which parts of the world, or not parts, but rather which demographics you could say, maybe not demographics, but like how can we be of service to the most people possible when we're doing
Oh
this kind of
man.
work, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement to bring coding and developing to the developing world, and this is very good because it like contributes to kind of like yeah, like upward momentum. It contributes to like the class struggle. It provides like opportunities.
Is it a
The
true rising tide?
Pardon?
Would it make it a true rising tide rather than a false rising tide? You know how, you know, because the rising tide that raises all ships. You know, we've heard that one
Ah,
before historically, but would it be a true rising tide, perhaps?
well, this is the thing. Like, I think it's to be like, you need to be aware that, you know, like a lot of the people who are, a lot of the like groups that are contributing to this. I mean, like, like Google is doing this. Facebook, I
I,
think, was doing this, and
I
so,
understand
and
Samsung is quite present also.
Samsung, yeah, Samsung is yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I'm not aware, but like it's
The guy, the guy
yeah.
working on the phone line, you know, doing my helping me find a phone, which one I wanted next kind of thing. When I was looking for one a while ago, was explaining how Samsung brought tech to him specifically, otherwise, and he would be otherwise incapable of working. But
Yeah,
it's just a,
that's
it's
incredible. Yeah, no,
yeah,
so it's kind of like, so the way you can think of it is you know, like it's going to like allow more people to, you know, like get jobs that are going to like help them not be in poverty, get them to like, you know, comfort to a comfortable level, but at the same time, from the corporate standpoint, from like the kind of like these monopoly standpoint,
mm,
if you teach everyone how to code, then the average value of a programmer goes down.
right.
So
But that's going to happen anyways, right?
yeah,
That will
I
happen no
mean,
matter what.
I don't know. I'm not too sure. Like, I know, like my experience for like North America. Well, I mean, the North American experience is that like, you know, like coding is becoming more and more niche. So it's
In an
not like,
equitable global economy, though, you're going to imagine that it's going to be like a new language, right? That like people kind of just speak.
yeah, no, well, that's it. It's kind of like, I think it's opening up. It's what is it? It's like kind of like flattening the world. It's making it so that we can like, you know, anybody can work. Anybody with that knowledge can work from anywhere, and like, you know, like they can get paid hopefully adequately for you know the work that they're doing. And I
Absolutely.
mean, and that, you know, that like leads to kind of like economic, yeah, like economic kind of like wealth, and it leads to, you know, better communities and these kind of things. Like, these are like the good things that can come out of it, and that's kind of
Economic
what we want.
democracy.
Yeah, exactly. That is what, and I mean, that is what we want. Like, we do want to raise people out of poverty. And this is just this is one way of doing it. I mean, it also, like, I mean, the open source movement lends well to entrepreneurship. So, I mean, if you have a really good idea, you have pretty much all the tools available to you right from the start, then it's interesting to see what you can build. If we can be building things that lead to a better world, that'd be really great. If we're building, a competitor to Facebook that, gives, a back door to, whatever country you want to name, then that's maybe not as good.
Trevor, do you think that the projects that I embark on would be building a better world?
Oh, I don't know. You're a little bit secretive, but I think I don't know. I need to know more. I trust your ethics. I trust your ethics. So I think that like the stuff that you're working on would probably be good.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah,
need but
yeah.
I need
I
I need
do.
to know more.
I know I haven't explained it yet because I've noticed in the past that a lot of my ideas sort of get borrowed, we'll say, and I haven't been good enough for my own, for the projects that I'm working on to sort of navigate them in a way which is going to um, bear fruit all around, sort of thing. Because I
Mhm.
find myself having to work on my foundations and then also building these projects, and it doesn't work. So right now, what I'm doing is aligning them into one, and so I haven't really announced the big sort of, um, let's just call it structure
Yeah.
of sort of the organization that's being developed right now. But fascinating. So what language are you teaching yourself right now?
Oh, well, so I mean, I'm like, oh, like computer language or spoken language.
Spoken.
Spoken. I'm teaching myself Korean right now.
Fascinating.
I started about like a week and a half ago, and I think I've had like collectively maybe like 6 or 7 hours of like studying. But yeah, no, it's coming along. It's coming along.
Nice. I've
Yeah,
been jumping into Hindi,
nice.
and I noticed that actually, in the bigger picture economics, that India actually has quite a lot of room for development in that area, which is quite fascinating.
Yes, that's
And
true.
yeah, and so I'm hopefully gonna keep on that train. I'm gonna try to keep teaching myself because I find that like as we, in the West, with all of our let's say historical privilege or whatever, many of us just speak English, or in Quebec we speak English and French often, sometimes just
Mhm.
one or the other. But sort of joining the global stage in a certain way when we're talking about um, you know building equity and things like that. I just think that learning multiple languages like yourself is a great example, and that's partially my motivation too, is to be able to sort of, it's not just people don't just have to learn English.
Yeah, no, I know I'm with you. It's kind of I find it funny because a lot of the work I do, like I mean, when I'm posting things online on GitHub, stuff that we have a policy that anything that is open. So I mean, any discussions on like repositories that are open to the public, all of the discussion is held in English, so that if anybody wants to see or understand like the reasons why we're doing things, it'll reach more people. But like when we're working on our private stuff, all of our communications in French. So it's kind of funny how that plays out. But
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. We have to navigate on multiple levels.
yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, but I think like one program the one like tool that we're working on, we recently added the ability to write out metadata in multiple languages. And so right now we have it set so that if you want to add a new thing to this tool, and anyone can, you have to have a French translation at least. So anyway, it's kind of funny. I think if I can get better with Korean, maybe I'll start contributing that.
I think that's amazing. And actually, I'm stoked to talk to Gene on a video as well, because he's got this sort of really interesting sort of bilingual integration, which as an anglophone, but very deeply integrated into francophone in the francophone world,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
notably through his work as a student
Hmm.
organizer, very very effective student organizer.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and
I'd love to watch that. Gene is a really fascinating guy.
Gene is a brain. He's a
Hmm.
brain. He's got so much to offer. I'm so honored that he said yes, and I really appreciate, and I'm honored that you said yes too, Trevor. So thanks a lot, and I'll take that you trust my ethics. I'll take it.
Good.
I trust your ethics as well.
Oh, good.
Um, and but let's just leave it at that. I think it's a really great closing note to sort of talk about not just like the sort of theoretical gestures, but even like the tangible gestures of learning new languages and things like this. And so, of course, we don't want to celebrate before we do it,
Yeah,
because that's,
exactly.
you don't
Yeah.
celebrate before you do a thing. But um, but here we are with the intention. And I started this project. I started making a video every day once I started, except for one day a week, which is on Sunday. I call it a day of rest.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Inspired by
God.
a couple of things, but including Horder Torfason, who told me, the great peaceful revolutionary in Iceland, right? Peaceful,
Oh yeah.
democratic movement building. He was quite adamant on having at least one day dedicated to complete rest, and that really lines up with biblical stuff and other sort of
Hmm.
spiritual things across many communities. And so I think it's just really fascinating. But let's leave it at that. Thanks so much, Trevor. And maybe we can try to plan for the future for maybe some 20-minute intervals or something quicker, or we'll see what happens. If you got some space to fit in your schedule, and if not, we'll move on to additional people. But it sounds like you got lots to say, so if you do come back, that'd be really amazing.
For sure, yeah. No,
uh,
I definitely was. I don't know. I woke up not too long ago, so that's kind of that's kind of why I was
Woke up
a
this
little
way,
bit
Trevor.
scattered. But
I don't
yeah,
think
no, I
so.
think next time, yeah, if, like yeah, we could probably focus on like really specific things. I'll see if I can stay on topic. Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great because it's good to have this exploratory conversation. So I'm going to head out for the rest of my day. I'm going to go to a hip hop event. It's a youth hip hop event where we're supporting marginalized youth. What are
Nice.
you doing for the rest of the day?
I think I'm gonna study Korean, and then I'm meeting up actually with my colleagues who I haven't seen in like a solid 6 months. I think we're going to a park in the East End. So yeah, I'm gonna bike over there, see some colleagues, maybe have a beer or two. Yeah,
Amazing. So
yeah,
enjoy
it'll
the
be
rest of your
good.
day.
Yeah,
Enjoy the rest of your, and thanks so much. Honestly, it's really great.
yeah,
And
no, my pleasure.
no edits, or so it's in your hands. So you send me the file and then I'll post it.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
I'm gonna
thanks
post.
for
I'm gonna
thanks for
post it
having me.
on Monday. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you very much.
All right,
Take care, my friend.
take care.